I am completely delusional, skewed towards fierce optimism, and let me tell you why. The way that I choose to live, and it's a choice, is that I believe that things are going to be good. That is a total delusion. It has nothing to do with reality. No model that I hold, this is what I deeply believe. No model that I hold, no model that I can hold will ever truly reflect what reality is. It will only reflect what's happening in here. The frame of mind that I have when I come at it. So I choose out of pragmatism or out of experience or out of I'm not sure where, but I choose optimism. I choose to believe that things are going to be good. Things are going to turn out well. We've had the buttons to split the atom and split the whole world, right? We've had them for like 60 years now, and the world is still here. We have been warring and at each other's throats for all of human history, and yet we are all still here, and we're all still figuring out ways that we can get along. Look at fucking what's going on around the world right now, right? I'm obviously this has me terrified. I'm thinking like all kinds of things might come out of this situation. I'm not going to get into it, but there's this deep part of me which sees a dark future that I don't want. And rather than worrying about that future, rather than fearing for that future, I consider what is it that I can do right now that's going to spread the antidote. If it's fear that leads there, how can I spread courage? So, for example, talking about hope generation especially and optimism, because that's what optimism, sorry, all come boils down to. It boils down to how well we can generate our own sense of hope despite evidence, right? So there's this story that I've been talking about and thinking about a lot for a few months now. I've been thinking that all of human history, all of the progress of human history, if you go right back to the industrial age and all the way back before that, whenever you have a group of people and they have a problem to solve, we make progress. So if you give a bunch of people not enough food, they'll figure out how to get more food. Or if you give a bunch of people another tribe to war against, they'll either figure out how to kill all of them or figure out some kind of a peaceful way of coexisting. But basically, all human progress is made when we have that sense of, oh fuck, there's an opportunity here. There's an opportunity for change here. And if you think about how our world is looking right now, if you think about what the internet is and what it represents, how open transfer of money, goods, services, information, work, if you want to, you can get a job for a company in Sweden today. You could literally do it today. You could just hop on LinkedIn, look in your industry at the different companies, and if you have the skills and you have the know-how of communication and how to work from home, there's so many insane possibilities now. And what really gets me excited for the future, and what has been getting me excited for months, I've been talking about this for months, and I just found some news today, and I was like, I have to talk about it online now because it's starting to come true. And I need these kind of predictions and these kind of ideas. I need to put this out there so that people can see what it means to be optimistic, right? So I've been thinking that I looked into investments for a long time, and one investment in particular was this company called Sky and Space Global, and their whole mission for years has been to put these tiny little satellites, and I mean like literally like handheld satellites, up into space. They had this idea of like having 25 of them around the planet. And what they were going to do was get all of this money up front. It's called venture capitalism. And they were going to get that money, send these things into space, and they would pay back those investors by having very, very cheap, high quality internet and data service provision for everybody, the whole world. And that's difficult to wrap your head around. What that means is a huge portion of the world who had no access to internet And they're the ones who get all of these old phones and all of these, that's where the technology sort of winds up that we all throw in the recycling bin. It all winds up in the third world. Well, all of those people all of a sudden have access to everybody in their country, to everybody in the world. They can start a conversation and solve a problem in their community with other people solving problems in their communities miles away. Which, is a revolutionary idea. Not so much for us because we're born in that world. We're swimming through it, right? But for those who have never had it, especially now when there are so many people in the world, when there's so much commerce and trade and change and growth in medicine, in technology, consider this. This is the story that I've been sort of imagining, and this has been my case for optimism that I've been telling people face to face for a few months now. Imagine you have a child in India. They are maybe 4 or 5 years old. They know the alphabet. They can speak a little bit of 2 languages because education is very different over there. It's not really like optional, If you can get an education, you do get an education. Well, this child has a phone with the internet. They can access a world-class education delivered by someone who grew up in their shoes. That is to say, without shoes. Someone who grew up with zero opportunity, zero chance, but they built themselves into a education mogul. And they dominate a $1 million industry because from taking a small idea of really, really good, well-crafted educational systems and processes and a community around that, they've scaled it up, right up, and they only have to charge 1 cent per person, right? But there's like 400 million fucking people there who haven't had access to the internet before, right? Charging 1 cent per person per year, and now they have enough to take it from 1 person to 10 people, and enough to take it from 10 people to 100. You get where I'm going with this? So this person has built up a massive educational industry where they teach Indian children not just how to speak and write and type English and Indian and fucking Chinese, why not? But also how to code and how to program. So they are learning about the syntax of how we communicate while learning at the same time about the syntax of how technology and computers communicate. What that means, like maybe that's a difficult thing to grasp because it's so abstract. But if you look at all of that progress that I was mentioning like 6 tangents ago, if you're looking at the whole march of the human history, look at the industrial age. You get an idea of making a thing efficiently, right? So you want to make the thing efficiently. So one person gets the idea, how about we do this? And it's an innovation. And from then on, nothing is the same. Things are made so much more efficiently to the point where entire economies come up out of nowhere. What was China before the industrial age? Right? So you look at these changes that happen in human history, all they boil down to is a bunch of people having a problem to solve. And the capability, the knowledge, the education to figure out ways to solve it. When you have a whole when you have 1 million people, all of them educated in programming, All of them finding problems to solve. Because that's how online education works. It doesn't just give you a mill. It doesn't just give you a certificate, sorry. It gives you a problem to solve. Because that's the only thing that's going to differentiate one person from another. Is not how good the fucking certificate looks, but it's how good can you do the job. So you're going to learn the job by doing the job. So these kids are going to be given problems to solve, figuring out how to apply their brains to solve them. And I mean kids, children. Children will be doing this. Well, anyway, the whole point. I've been telling that little story for a long time, and I'm envisioning, like, what does that even look like? Like if you were to put that into something real, what does that actually look like to have that level of technology, right, and that level of advancement? Imagine you need a surgery, and the only surgeon that's available to do it, it's a new surgery, it's a new type of surgery based on a new type of procedure, based on a new type of way of looking at an organ, fucking relationship to your body, relationship to a disease. You need this surgery, and the only person capable of doing it is currently in fucking Shanghai or Germany. So, a pod arrives at your doorstep, and a robot steps out of the pod, like a robot nurse. She helps put you into the pod. And then, in real time, the surgeon in fucking Timbuktu does surgery on your body through the robot, wherever the fuck you are. After that's done, you're good. The nurse robot thing puts you back into bed or whatever. Clean ICU fucking chamber that can get dropped off outside your door as well. The nurse packs herself up and ships herself off to another surgery. That's our future. That we are capable of that. We're capable of such fucking insane things that are all coming. They're all coming. And the reason I'm so excited, and the reason I just had to fucking share it with you today, is because I just found out that Facebook released their latest quarter earnings and spent something like $6 billion acquiring the company responsible for getting 400 million Indians online. 400 million Indians who do not have access to the internet will have access to it within the next few years, thanks to the company acquired by Facebook. Optimism, man. Choose optimism. It's easier, it's better. Life is more exciting. The future is bright as fuck. It's blindingly fucking bright. Much love. I'm Saeed from Said with Courage. Peace.